You know that really soul-crushing robotic voice you get when you call a customer service line?
Ah, I know the one.
Yeah, the one that just cheerfully says, like, press 1 for sales, press 2 for support, and then proceeds to completely, utterly misunderstand every single word you say to it.
Right, the classic nightmare.
Exactly. Well, we are officially attending the funeral for that exact technology today.
It's about time, honestly.
I mean, truly, because today, businesses aren't just, tweaking those old phone trees. They are completely replacing their front desks with artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
AI that can actually hold a fluid, human-sounding conversation, book an appointment right on the spot, and actually handle getting interrupted by a frustrated caller without malfunctioning.
Which is a massive structural shift in how commerce operates. I mean, we are moving away from static, pre-programmed, if this then that responses into the realm of dynamic generative interactions.
Right.
And the adoption curve across almost every industry you can think of is just staggering right now.
It's wild. Which means the market for these AI voice agents is currently like the absolute Wild West.
Completely.
So to figure out who's actually winning this race and who is just selling snake oil, we're pulling from a freshly updated June 2026 market breakdown.
Right. The new one.
Yeah, the one by Shampov over at the Service Agent blog. He essentially test drove the 7 biggest players in the AI call agent space, so we don't have to.
And honestly, this review couldn't come at a better time because the landscape has fragmented so rapidly.
Oh, for sure.
A year ago, everyone was just trying to build a basic voice bot. Now the market has specialized into highly distinct categories based on, user technical skill and business complexity.
And that is the core mission for our deep dives today. So whether you are a software developer looking for raw infrastructure to build an enterprise app, or like an agency marketer needing a quick white label solution, or even just a local business owner who is sick and tired of missing high-value phone calls while you're out on a job, this conversation is custom tailored for you. We are going to help you figure out exactly which category of tool fits your specific needs. But more importantly, we are going to dissect the hidden pricing traps in these platforms.
The ones that are quite literally bankrupting some early adopters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scary stuff. Okay, let's unpack this.
Well, the absolute biggest mistake you can make right now before you even look at a price tag is buying the wrong category of tool for your specific skill set.
Makes sense.
We really have to look at how these platforms are fundamentally engineered.
I've been thinking about this whole market like a giant construction site.
Okay, I like that.
When you need a place to live, you basically have 2 choices, right? You can either buy a pre-built house where you just turn the key, walk in, and sit on the couch.
Right.
Or you can drive to the lumber yard and buy raw timber, concrete, and roofing nails.
Yeah.
This first group of tools we're looking at, Retail AI, VAPI AI, and Bland AI, they are strictly the lumber yard. These are built from the ground up for software engineers.
That analogy holds up perfectly, actually, because these are infrastructure layers.
Right.
They are absolutely not designed for a local business owner who just wants a virtual receptionist running by Friday afternoon.
No way.
They require an understanding of APIs, testing environments, and actual development cycles.
So let's start with the top-tier lumber, Retail AI. According to the breakdown, they have a massive 4.8 out of 5 rating on G2.
That's huge.
Backed by over 1,400 reviews, which is just absurdly high volume for a market this new.
It really is.
And the thing reviewers keep raving about is their low latency and what they call natural interruption handling.
Yes.
They start at a $0 base fee. You just pay per minute.
Yes.
But I'm kind of stuck on this interruption handling thing.
It's crucial.
Because for an AI to feel human, it has to know when to shut up, right?
Exactly.
So instead of a walkie-talkie where only one person speaks at a time, it has to operate like a human brain.
Yeah.
Keeping one ear open while the mouth is moving.
That's exactly the mechanism at play. To achieve that sub-second latency and natural interruption, Retail uses a dual model processing architecture.
Okay, dual model.
Right. One stream is constantly generating and synthesizing the speech you hear.
Got it.
But simultaneously, a secondary listening model is monitoring the audio wavelengths coming from the caller.
Oh, wow, so it's constantly listening in the background.
Always. And the microsecond The caller injects new audio. Say they interrupt with, wait, no, Tuesday doesn't work. That listening model forces the generative model to halt mid-syllable.
Just cuts it off.
Exactly. It flushes its current context window, processes the new variable, and recalculates its next response in real time.
That's incredible.
It takes immense engineering to manage that specific technical hurdle at scale without the system just crashing.
Which totally explains why developers at large contact centers love it. But again, it's just the lumber.
Right.
Retail doesn't have a built-in CRM or a calendar to actually book that Tuesday appointment. You have to write the code to connect those systems yourself.
Yeah. You build the house.
Exactly. And if you want total granular control over every piece of that architecture, the review points us to VAPI AI.
Ah, VAPI.
Yeah, VAPI is totally API first. They let developers bring their own large language models, or LLMs, and their own text-to-speech providers.
Which is great for flexibility.
It is. They give you a $10 trial to start.
Yeah.
But I have to call out a glaring discrepancy in VAPI's marketing here.
Let's hear it.
So the source explicitly notes that VAPI advertises a base rate of 5 cents a minute.
Okay.
But then the review reveals that real-world deployment costs are actually 30 to 33 cents per minute.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
Right. Let me take the lumber analogy further. If I'm building this AI house, the telephony is the plumbing connecting me to the outside world.
Sure.
The LLM, the brain making the decisions, is the architect. And the text-to-speech generation is the interior designer making it presentable.
I like where this is going.
VAPI is basically charging me 5 cents for the empty lot, but forcing me to hire the plumber, the architect, and the designer separately.
Which fundamentally changes your unit economics.
Completely.
Because VAPI's 5 cents only covers their routing and orchestration layer. But as you deduced, a voice AI call requires those 3 distinct heavy lifting technologies.
Right.
And since VAPI lets you choose your own providers, say Twilio for the telephony plumbing, Anthropic's Claude for the architect brain, and 11 Labs for the voice designer, you are paying those 3 companies directly based on your usage.
So it all stacks up.
Exactly. When you stack the telephony cost, the LLM computing cost, and the ultra-realistic voice generation cost on top of VAPI's 5-cent base fee, you blow past that 30-cent mark incredibly fast.
And the review points out that for enterprise deployments, stacking those per-minute fees means companies are looking at annual budgets of $40,000 to $70,000 just for stable operations.
It's not cheap.
So if you're that local business owner listening right now, this is your cue to run out of the lumberyard. You don't have 70 grand to figure this out.
Nor do you have the risk tolerance for the kind of volatility we see in the developer space.
Good point.
This actually brings up a crucial macroeconomic insight about AI that traditional software buyers just don't anticipate. Look at the third tool in this category, Bland AI.
Okay, Bland AI.
They are a massive heavy lifter for high-volume outbound campaigns, wildly popular for custom scripting.
The article flags a terrifying warning sign with Bland AI. In December 2025, they suddenly restructured their pricing.
Yes, they did.
The starting plan jumped from 9 cents a minute to 14 cents a minute overnight. That is a 55% price hike.
And that volatility exists because AI is not like traditional software as a service.
How so?
Well, in traditional SaaS, you are mostly paying for static server space, which is incredibly cheap to scale.
Right. But
generative AI requires massive active GPU compute power for every single token, every single syllable generated.
Oh, wow.
So if Bland AI's underlying compute costs surge, they have to pass that on to the user immediately, or they just bleed cash.
And that creates a massive vendor lock-in nightmare.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, think about it. If you spent 6 months having your engineering team build complex, branching call scripts natively into Bland AI's specific API architecture, you can't just unplug it and move to a cheaper competitor over the weekend.
No, you're trapped.
You built your house on their lot, and they just raised the property tax by 55%.
It's a harsh, expensive reminder that when you buy raw infrastructure, you are entirely at the mercy of the provider's underlying compute economics.
So if you are a marketing agency or a service business, and you don't have a $70,000 enterprise budget or a team of developers to survive those sudden API price spikes, how do you solve this complexity problem?
You look for the pre-built options.
Exactly. That transitions us perfectly away from the lumberyard and into our second category, the plug-and-play options.
Yeah.
No code required.
Yes.
We're looking at Synthflow AI and Good Call.
This is really where the technology becomes democratized. These platforms hide all the telephony, LLM, and voice generation plumbing behind a simple user interface.
Let's break down Synthflow AI first. They start at $29 a month, They give you a 14-day trial, and they earned G2's badges for Best Estimated ROI and Fastest Implementation.
Very impressive stats.
Yeah, reviewers say you could deploy a functional voice agent in hours using a visual drag-and-drop builder. The appeal is obvious. But after looking at the enterprise costs we just talked about, $29 feels too good to be true.
Always look at the limits.
Exactly. I dug into the pricing limits, and the catch is glaring. That starter tier only gives you 50 minutes of call time.
Ah, there it is.
Wait, 50 minutes? If I run a busy dental clinic, 50 minutes is a single Tuesday morning.
And the moment you hit minute 51, the overage trap springs.
Oh.
Once you blow past that tiny allowance, Synthflow's overage rates run between 13 and 24 cents per minute, depending on your plan.
That adds up so fast.
The business model here is clear. They lure you in with an incredibly low, frictionless barrier to entry, but they monetize your success. The easier it is to set up, the more expensive it becomes when your volume inevitably scales.
Okay, so if the per-minute trap is the problem, someone in this market had to have figured out a different billing model, right?
You would think so.
And that brings us to Good Call. Good Call is aimed squarely at local, small to medium businesses, gyms, hair salons, auto shops.
Right.
Instead of charging by the minute like a taxi meter that runs up the bill when you're stuck in traffic, Good Call charges a flat $59 a month for 100 unique callers.
Now, moving from a per-minute model to a per-caller model is a fascinating psychological shift for local business owners. It provides predictability.
It's the all-you-can-eat buffet model.
Exactly.
You pay your entry fee, and whether the customer asks a quick question for 1 minute or talks the AI's ear off for 20 minutes, the cost to the business owner is exactly the same.
Predictable costs are a big selling point.
But I'm trying to reason this out from the software company's perspective. If I run an actual buffet and a guy comes in and eats 40 crab legs, I lose money on that transaction.
Right.
If Good Call is paying those heavy LLM compute costs in the background, what happens when a chatty caller stays on the line for 45 minutes? Good Call has to be eating that compute cost. So where do they make their money back?
They make it back on the margins of your success.
What do you mean?
If you run a global promo or you have a seasonal spike and you get 101 unique callers, Good Call hits you with a massive 50-cent per caller overage fee.
Half a dollar just to answer the phone.
Exactly. And on top of that, multiple reviewers in the source material noted sudden, unannounced price shifts on their accounts.
Wait, really?
Yeah, likely because Good Call's own internal compute costs fluctuated and they had to adjust their margins quietly.
Wow. And there's another major red flag the review pointed out with Good Call. They lack a sandbox testing environment.
That's a critical issue.
Right. Now, if there is no private practice area, that means I can't test the AI to see how it handles weird questions before it goes live.
No, you can't.
I am essentially putting a raw, unproven trainee on the front desk on their very first day with zero supervision and letting them talk to my actual paying customers. Testing in production like that seems like a massive operational liability.
It is reckless for anything beyond basic FAQs.
Yeah.
Think about it. If a customer asks a complex question about a service warranty and the AI hallucinates an incorrect answer because you couldn't test its boundaries in a sandbox, you are still liable for what your AI promised.
Oof. Which perfectly illustrates the ceiling of these plug-and-play tools. Synthflow and Good Call are great if you just need a smart answering machine.
Sure.
But what if your business needs more? What if you need the AI to actually execute tasks? Look at your company's calendar, book a service truck, or take a credit card deposit.
Now you're entering the workflow automation territory.
Exactly. Which brings us to our final category, the specialized workhorses, Service Agent and Smith.ai.
This represents the evolution from a simple call agent to a comprehensive operational platform. We are moving beyond just transcribing audio here.
Yeah. Service Agent is pitched as a true all-in-one platform. It has a built-in CRM, it handles payments, it manages scheduling.
The whole package?
And the pricing completely flips the script. The software platform itself is completely free, and you just pay per call for the AI usage.
That's a compelling offer.
They even feature industry-tuned models right out of the box, like HVAC GPT or plumbing GPT. It's like hiring an industry veteran to manage your front desk.
And the consolidation of tools is really the holy grail for a service business.
Oh, absolutely.
If you run a roofing company, you don't want to duct tape a generic voice bot to your calendar software and your invoicing software using Zapier, just hoping the connection doesn't break.
No, that's a nightmare.
You want one native system.
Yeah.
And an industry-tuned model means the AI already understands the semantic difference between a routine shingle repair and a catastrophic structural leak without you having to train it.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, though.
Okay.
I'm looking at the timeline in the review. Service Agent just launched recently in April 2025.
Very new.
Because it's so incredibly new, it has 0 G2 reviews yet.
Ah.
Are we seriously telling listeners to rip out their established calendar, their CRM, and their billing software to trust their entire business operation to a brand new, unreviewed platform?
It's a huge ask.
That feels like jumping out of an airplane and hoping you can sew the parachute together before you hit the ground.
Well, your skepticism is highly warranted, and the source material explicitly backs you up on this.
Okay, good.
The review issues a critical warning for businesses in regulated industries. Service Agent's SOC2 and High-P compliance statuses are not publicly disclosed yet.
Oh, wow. That's a deal breaker for a lot of people.
Exactly. If you are a medical clinic handling protected patient data or a law firm managing sensitive case details, you cannot legally deploy an unverified platform.
No way.
A single data breach or compliance violation will cost you infinitely more than whatever you saved on software subscriptions.
Which is the perfect segue to Smith.ai, actually, because they target those exact high-stakes, regulated industries, but with a completely different, almost anti-automation philosophy.
Right.
Smith.ai uses a hybrid model. You pay $97.50 a month for the AI to handle the routine filtering, but they offer a live 247 human receptionist fallback for $292.50.
And for medical triage or legal intake, that human safety net isn't a luxury. It is an absolute requirement.
Yeah.
If someone calls a personal injury law firm because they've just been in a devastating car accident, or they call a dental clinic at 2 a.m. in excruciating pain, an AI, no matter how fast its sub-second latency is, cannot offer genuine human empathy.
No, you just can't.
If an AI drops the ball or misinterprets the nuance of an emotionally sensitive call, the caller hangs up and immediately calls a competitor.
But that empathy comes at a steep premium.
It does.
The review points out that if you hit your call volume limit on Smith.ai, the overage fee is brutal. It is $9.75 per additional call.
Yeah, that's heavy.
That's not per minute. That's almost $10 every time the phone rings.
Yeah.
If I'm a local bakery and I get 20 spam calls in a day, I just lost $200.
Exactly, which is why you have to align the tool with your business model. For a high-volume, low-margin business, like a bakery or a local garage door repair, $9.75 call would destroy their profitability.
Obviously.
But consider the personal injury lawyer. If they pay that $9.75 overage for one spam call, but the next call is a retained client worth $50,000 in legal fees, they do not care about the $10.
Oh, absolutely not.
They are gladly paying for the insurance policy of a guaranteed, empathetic human catching that high-value lead.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Let's bring this all together.
Let's do it.
If you are navigating this 2026 AI voice agent market, you have to start by holding a mirror up to your own business operations. If you're a developer building an app, you need the raw power and API flexibility of the lumberyard, retail, or VAPI. If you are an agency marketer or a local salon, you probably just want the predictable, buffet-style billing of Good Call or the quick drag-and-drop setup of SynthFlow.
Definitely.
If you are a plumber exhausted from juggling 6 different software tools, you might want the all-in-one CRM integration of Service Agent's Plumbing GPT. And if you are a lawyer or a doctor, you absolutely need the IPA-compliant human safety net of Smith.ai.
But universally, across every single one of these personas, the macro takeaway from Shomkov's analysis is that you must mathematically model your call volume before signing a contract.
Crucial step.
Every single platform we explored has an overage trap just waiting to spring, whether it's per minute, per unique caller, or per interaction. The true cost of this technology is not the base subscription, it is the cost of scaling.
It really is.
But, if we pull back and look at the trajectory of this entire industry, this evolution raises a pretty profound societal question.
Okay.
The source material noted that AI is perfectly suited for routine transactional calls, but humans are strictly required for the emotionally sensitive ones.
Right.
As models like HVAC GPT become increasingly sophisticated at simulating empathy, pacing, and natural hesitations, we have to wonder about the endpoint of this market.
Oh, I see where you're going.
Are we rapidly approaching a threshold where speaking to a real human receptionist is no longer the standard expectation of customer service?
Wow.
Will hearing a genuine human voice on the other end of the line become a high-priced luxury feature reserved exclusively for the most elite premium businesses that can actually afford it?
That is a deeply unsettling yet incredibly plausible thought. I mean, we started this deep dive celebrating the death of the robotic press one for sales menu.
Yeah.
But the irony is, we might be actively engineering a world where pressing 0 to speak to a human operator requires a platinum credit card. The technology is solving the friction, but it's fundamentally changing the nature of how we connect.
It really is.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the technology you interact with every day. Model those overage fees before you hand over your credit card. And we'll leave you to ponder just how much genuine human connection is really worth to your business.